Welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice. Join me as we explore spirituality, self-help, and channeling spirit. Hello and welcome to From Beyond with your host, Glenn Boddice, spiritual medium. Thank you for tuning in for another action-packed show this week. And in this week's episode, we're going to be discussing multiple dimensions. And I say we because I'm joined by co-host Kristina Bloom. Also in this week's episode, we have the channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their communications through. And also in this episode, we have this week's energy forecast reading. So without further ado, I'd like to say good evening, good afternoon, good morning to you, Kristina Bloom. How are you doing?
Good morning, Glenn. Good evening to you. Yeah, it's morning here, it's evening there. I'm doing really well. Thank you. Thank you. This is so much fun. And you were talking about the multi-dimensions and the crossing over dimensions, and we have had nothing but technical issues recording this episode.
Exactly, yes. Just to inform the listeners, this is take 2 of week 2 of recording this episode. And again, yes, we're using the same equipment, the same technology. And yet when we connect on this episode, we've been fine with the previous episodes. There's always been something occurring where we're not getting that true signal, hasn't there, Kristina?
Right. There's been interference. Either your mic doesn't work or I don't get recorded or something. It's been something every single time.
Well, fingers crossed. Yeah. I can see the waveforms playing onto the screen in front of me, so it looks like we're recording. Whether we actually are, we'll find out in a moment after we've recorded it.
I guess we will.
Yes. Well, without further ado, Kristina, we're going to dive in deep. We've got a lot to discuss today. As I say, we're talking about multiple dimensions. And so, first of all, I want to pass it over to you, as I always do. I like to chuck you in the deep end and ask, what is your definition of multiple dimensions?
Multiple dimensions. I don't know about a definition. I'm better with examples, but okay. It's where you have and I know that they exist because I experienced them, but they're different dimensions. It looks like the same space, but in slightly different time frames is the way that I'm seeing it when I experience it. Does that make sense to you? It
does, yeah. That's exactly the same as myself there.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I would say fragments of our essence, right. We could dive into a deep rabbit hole with this, couldn't we? The fact that we come here in this incarnation, but in actual fact, there's loads of fractals of our soul playing out all at the same time in different dimensions, in different frequencies.
Right, and different realities, therefore.
Oh, let's expand on that. I like that. I like where you're going with that, Kristina.
Well, I mean, if there's, let's keep it a number people can actually wrap their heads around rather than infinite. So let's say there are 5 different aspects of Glenn living 5 different lives, having 5 completely different experiences. So in the dimension that you're in, it's you and your daughters and your friends and whatever you're doing there where you live. But in the next dimension, you could be, I don't know, a dentist in Zimbabwe. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be like completely different lives, but one spirit having all of these different experiences or different aspects of one spirit, having all of these different experiences simultaneously.
That's beautiful. And that's just painted an image in my mind. And I'm sure you've experienced this. Where we've either woken up from a dream state and we envisage ourselves doing something completely, out of character to us. Do you think this could be us actually experiencing part of that soul fragment?
I think so.
Ooh.
I think so. And now I'm going to just throw another little monkey wrench in there.
Oh, please do.
Sometimes these lives intersect. And I'll explain that with a dream that I had last week where in the dream, I don't know where I was. It felt like an older time, like maybe the 1920s or something. It was a small apartment. I was there with people I knew to be my family, although in this reality I didn't recognize them.
Yeah.
But there was a fire in the city. And our apartment hadn't caught fire yet. But then whoever my husband was in that dream touched the wall and said, "The wall is hot, the fire's coming. Grab everything that's important to you." And one of my daughters in that lifetime was taking notebooks. Apparently she was very much into learning.
Yeah.
And one of the notebooks that she took was my college notebook from this lifetime.
Ooh. Whoa, that's a mind bender.
2 days.
Whoa, that is incredible.
I know, weird, right? I mean, for me to say something is weird, that's a statement.
It is. I love that. That is incredible. Wow, we've started as we mean to go on tonight. Definitely, haven't we?
Yeah, and you were saying that you've had some experiences recently with multi-dimensions. I'd like to hear about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, this was a while ago, actually, multiple dimensions. The fact that I was having an interview at this, like, it was a learning establishment, and I had to go every probably 3 times a week. And it was just after the weekend when I went back to this establishment. And there was a guy there that was talking to me, one of the official guys, and he was saying, "I saw you at the weekend. Was you at," and he named a location not too far away from where I live. And he says, "Yeah, you had a big Labrador dog at the side of you. You was grinning, you was walking around." He said, "I knew it was you because you've got a certain swagger about your walk when you're walking." And I says, "I don't think so. I wasn't there at the weekend, and I don't own a dog." And he was convinced that that was me. He says, "No, I walked by you." And he said, "Your face was the same, everything, the swagger about you was all the same." And I said, "Well, I don't think so because I wasn't even in the area at that time." And so that spun me out a little bit. The fact that he did see me, he was a very honest man as well, and he wouldn't make these sort of things up. So to have that fed back to you when you wasn't in the actual county at that moment in time, and you was doing something completely different to what he's described, and you were the dog, and I don't own a dog. So
interesting. So was that a bilocation thing, or was that a doppelganger?
Well, poor soul, whoever looks like me. That's all I can say in this area. One's bad enough. No, I mean, I suppose you could say, because I have a shaved head, I'm kind of generic looking, so to speak. But I don't know. He swears that it was me. He walked by me and he saw my features, and with the way that I walk, he says, "I knew it was you by your walk." I was like, "Oh, well, I wasn't there." So I don't know. I could have another brother from another mother. I don't know.
It's possible. My dad found out he had a brother in his late 60s who looked exactly like him.
Whoa.
So.
Okay.
You never know.
Well, I won't rule that out. But yeah, that was one of my encounters. And that I'm going back probably about 10 years ago when I got told that.
Interesting. Interesting.
But I would say as well, going back onto this subject, with the dimensions all at play, like we say, multiple versions of ourselves all acting out at the same time. And each one of them has their own course, their own pathway. And I would say from the perspective of our soul and our free will, it's where we place our attention becomes our dimension and our experience of that.
I would agree with that. That makes absolute sense to me. I mean, it's just like, if we're only focusing on this dimension, where we focus our attention determines what we experience.
Yeah.
So if we're focusing on other dimensions, what we experience would be based on our attention, I would assume.
Actually, that kind of falls in line with some recent experiences I've had, and I'm sure you have, obviously, with the energies changing and with more enlightened ones connecting with those frequencies. I don't know about you, but I'm finding that people are moving away from your vibration. It's almost as if you don't exist in that timeline where they're at.
Exactly.
And you become like, I don't know, like almost like a ghost to them. Do you know what I mean?
I do. It's like you're invisible to people who can't tune into your frequency.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had experiences as well this year, quite a lot this year, where I've been driving in the van. I mean, a van's, mine's not a massive van, but with the headlights on, you would see it. You'd think you'd see it coming. And I've had pedestrians looking at the road and walking in front of the van as though the van isn't there. And it's got the headlights on right in front of them. I'm having to blast on the horn. And I've had that more than, 4 or 5 times this year. And I would say that is a result of different frequencies, different dimensions interlacing at the same time.
I would agree with that. There are things you can do about it, though. I mean, you can intend for people to see your van. I don't know how else to say that. I mean, you can pull your energy in and become imperceptible to people, or you can push your energy out and become very perceptible.
That kind of makes sense as well, because as you probably know, I'm a bit of an observer in life. I don't particularly like the attention, but obviously with the line of work that you do and I do, we kind of have to push beyond that limitation that we're placed in front of ourselves. So
right.
But generally speaking, I'm very much, I suppose that's why I'm a drummer. I like to observe, sit at the back, keep time. I don't really revel in the limelight. So I suppose part of my vibration is emanating that when I'm driving the van, and therefore people aren't able to see me.
Very possibly. Very possibly.
It's very interesting.
I had an experience years ago where I was working late at night, cleaning city buildings, and I was too tired to drive home. It was about 3 a.m. So I pulled into the parking lot behind my office, and next to my office was a newspaper company where people started coming in like 4 a.m. to start distributing newspapers. And so I was in my van. I'm like, I'm in a dark parking lot. I don't want to be bothered. I want to be safe. So I pulled my energy way, 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 way in, and pretty much made everything invisible. Based on the fact that an hour after I fell asleep, a lady was walking into her job at the newspaper place and walked right into my van. She didn't even see it, just walked right into it.
Whoa.
And I'm asleep, and I looked up. It's a window van, not a cargo van. There are windows in it. And I looked up, and I looked out the window, and this poor woman just looked stunned. She was just looking like, where did this come from? I did not see this van. And she just kind of stepped back and shook it off and walked around the back of the van and went on her way, but it startled both of us. So,
that would make perfect sense, actually. Now you've put it in that way. I bet you're the same when you go out into town or, the cities, and you're walking around, and it's as if you're not there. People aren't walking into you. They're avoiding you. And I bet you do the same as me. You put your energy protection up when you go out and about. And I put it down to that. So I feel as though there's a level where it takes you, that protection takes you out of that dimension in order to keep you safe.
I agree.
So, wow, isn't this fascinating? But I'd like to take the conversation down a slightly different avenue. Obviously, it's related, and this is the avenue of non-player characters. Now,
I like this one.
I believe that this is a gaming term where, say, if you're playing a game, computer game, and they're almost like they're filling in the design, the screen. So you've got people just maybe walking about in the background, not actually being able to be controlled or add any sort of content other than sort of visual and audio in that surrounding. And so I believe that's where the term comes from. So what I believe, and I have witnessed it in various towns and cities where this is happening. I don't know about you, Kristina, but there's like people that are there, but they're not, you can't interact with them. They're just like a stocking filler, if we use the Christmas analogy. They're a stocking filler just to make it look more presentable.
Yeah, pretty much. And you can tell when you have a conversation with these people because it's like they have a finite number of things that they say and they tend to repeat them.
Yes, there's only so many times you can say good morning.
Yeah, how are you? Fine, thank you.
Oh, look at the weather.
Exactly. But there's no depth to any conversation with that.
Yeah, you're quite right. I've actually got a friend as well that's had a first-hand experience of this, if I'm allowed to share it with you and the listeners.
Absolutely.
Well, basically, this friend of mine, she was driving along and she noticed this very distinctive man walking his dog at the side of the road there. And she remembers the items of clothing and the style of dress that he was wearing. And anyway, she drove probably for another hour or so, if not longer, down that road, going on a different journey there. And then she drives by the same guy wearing the same clothes with the same dog who she'd passed miles and hours ago on a journey. And she said she had to rub her eyes and she says, I'm sure I've seen him before. Sure I saw him back there. And so she had that experience. And when she was telling me, obviously I'm not doing the story justice, but I'm sure if she was here, she would explain in more detail. But I just found that captivating.
I agree. That's incredible.
It almost reminds me of like the Twilight Zone, that old TV show?
Yes, absolutely. Twilight Zone material.
But again, that falls into the alignment of, non-player characters, doesn't it? That they're filling in the background, they're adding to the story, but not adding to it.
Well, in some ways, I mean, if that was the case where she saw him and then hours later saw him again further down the road, still walking the same dog, his role as a non-player character would be to pay attention, would be to call her attention to the fact that there are non-player characters and that this reality is vastly different maybe than what she thought. Or to confirm that her knowledge that it is different.
Oh, I like that. That's almost taken us down another pathway, isn't it? Glitches in the Matrix. Glitches in the Matrix where we see this repetition like we've just described, an unnatural repetition that we perceive not to be possible. Is it sometimes the weather? I've seen actually videos online where there's been somebody can hear this aeroplane flying in the sky and they look up to the clouds and this aeroplane on this video has got one of those banners, like a happy birthday banner type of thing being dragged behind it. And they look up, they can hear the sound, yet this aeroplane is stationary in the sky, not moving. It's not a helicopter. It's just like as if somebody's pressed pause on a DVD player, yet they can still hear it. And so I suppose in a way, the technical issues we've had, it's like the universe or the matrix is having these technical issues, and it's feeding back in that respect.
Right. So what happens if that computer crashes?
Oh dear. Yes, we're all for it.
Do we really want to go down that rabbit hole?
Well, that almost reminds me. Do you remember of a TV show called Quantum Leap?
I love that show, yes.
Oh, it was amazing. Maybe if it does crash, that would happen to us. We'd go and experience all these different fragments of ourselves, of our energy.
Yes.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
Ooh, I've got shivers running down my spine with that one. Wow.
Well, you did say we were diving deep today.
We certainly are. Going to need a dry towel after we've done. So if we can, Kristina, I'm going to pass it over to you. Let's talk about energy, spirit, elemental and alien beings, how they maybe manipulate time and dimensions.
Let's throw some cryptids in there too, just for fun. There's so much of what we don't understand that I've stopped discounting pretty much everything, because we don't know really how much influence is there from other planets, from other species. Are we really just someone's experiment? Or are we, I don't really know how to say this. And my mom, who's very religious, doesn't like it when I say this, but I do say God, by definition, is an alien, right? So if we look at it from that perspective, are aliens, is there another species living or not living on Earth? I mean, they might be here and we just don't know. Or from somewhere else who created this entire world for us to be able to come here or put us here as, I don't know, some sort of an experiment, or as a way for souls to experience different aspects of themselves. There's so many different available explanations, and none of it can be proven, so it's all theory, which is fine by me because theories are fun to play with.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
And back to you, because I'm not really sure even where to go with this. I could talk all day about it and get nowhere.
I would say, using my experience working with spirit, and you do as well, obviously, they have to lower their frequency, lower their vibration in order to connect into our frequency. And to enable us to connect with them on a stronger link, we have to heighten our vibration, usually via the medium of meditation, to calm our mind and our spirit and get into alignment, and also set those intentions. And so when we meet in the middle there, this is where these two realities can interact and exist in the same space. I know that more realities are doing so, but from what my guides were saying as well, they like to use the analogy of an onion. And they say that the earth plane is like an onion with all the different layers, different skins there. And with each skin is a different world, if you like, a different experience. And like you were saying with, the alien beings, my guides have led me to believe that they're actually taking up the same space that we're in and we're talking in at this moment. But they're vibrating at a different frequency. So we're able to coexist in the same space, if that makes sense.
It does.
And elementals, I believe they work on different energy frequencies as well. And I've actually seen firsthand an example of this with the gnomes. And I was lucky enough to go on an investigation, a gnome hunt, if you like, a gnome investigation. And I was following my spirit guide's lead. They were telling us where to go and, where to hold our attention and look. And whilst doing this, in the quietest parts of this woodland, where no people were allowed to go, but us being us, we ignored all of the the signs and we went anyway.
Of course.
Because that's where it was quiet. And if anything, that's where these beings, the gnome community, were going to come out. So we did. We were respectful and we just held that space for them. And what I did notice as I saw this small gnome, I would say about the size of a 3-year-old, so about 2.5 foot tall, and it 3 foot, and it was poking its head round round a tree, should I say. And just as I caught a look of its face, me being me, I ran straight over to the location where I saw it and tried to connect and blend in with the energy of that being, that gnome entity, if you like. And in doing so, I was shown it was a combination of my mind's eye and my physical eye of this being. If you imagine something imploding, so going in on itself, or like the old television sets when you would turn off the television set and this white light would go into a small ball and then it would go black. It was like that. And I saw this gnome being zip out of this frequency, this dimension. And I had no idea where it had gone to, whether it had gone to another dimension or its own dimension, or whether it was moving from that particular location where I just walked into and moved into another tree. I don't know. I wasn't told that information, but I witnessed that firsthand, and it was something else. I thought I was going crazy. I thought, is there any fauna in the air that I've breathed in and this is causing this? But no, it was very, very graphic. So that's my experience, definitely.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
But yeah, we're actually coming to an end, actually. I can't believe how fast this conversation has gone. I think we need a part 2 for this.
I think we do. I think you are absolutely right. We definitely need a part 2 for this because we have just scratched the surface.
Oh, definitely. I mean, we alluded to go down various avenues, didn't we? I think we need to explore them further.
I agree.
Definitely. So, Kristina,
there were so many rabbit holes in one discussion.
As always, I'd like you to share how people can contact you, your web details, if they want a reading or any other of your services. Please do share that with the listeners now, please.
Oh, I'd love to. You can email me directly at psychickristina67@gmail.com, and Kristina is spelled with a K. And there is also my Facebook page, Kristina L. Bloom. You can reach me there, or you can go to my website at www.kristinabloom.com.
Thank you. Well, Kristina, you have yourself a wonderful Christmas and your family, and I look forward to diving deep in 2024 with you.
Wonderful. Thank you. You as well, Glenn.
Take care. Thank you. Wow, I really enjoyed that conversation there with Kristina. Very deep diving indeed. Really enjoyed every second of that. And there's going to be more of those conversations occurring in the year of 2024. So look out for that. We've got quite a lot of interesting things planned ahead. So stay tuned. So we're going to move on to the next segment of the show, which is this week's channeling from the world of spirit, which sees me becoming a vessel for spirit to bring their communications through. So I'm very much looking forward to what my guides and the channels have to say for this festive week ahead. So sit back, relax, take notes if you feel the need to, and enjoy this week's channeling from the world of spirit.
Hello, thank you for letting us come through in this manner today. We have lots to discuss. One of the things we'd like to talk about is this misconception about what's really happening in your current reality. As you know, there's no such actual thing as time, as it is all happening all in that same exact moment, and it's where you place your intention and your focus upon becomes your reality, so to speak. But there's been a skewing of the timelines in such a way that it's been causing a lot of confusion with a lot of people at this moment in time on your earth plane. We use the term time because it's one that you can relate to. If we used anything else, it would cause a mass confusion. So we'll continue to use that terminology when we're describing what's occurring. So basically what's occurring is a skewing of timelines where your intentions and your focus is shifted from where you're presently focusing on, and you're dipping in and out of your past, and you're moving in future timelines that have never even come into fruition, so to speak. In other words, they've never graced your presence. They've never had your intention set to them. And obviously, all of these things encountering at the same time will cause a level of confusion to the point where you are second-guessing who you are as an individual and what you thought you enjoyed and what you don't enjoy now and what you could enjoy. There's all these potentialities being thrown up into the present moment. And obviously this is causing a level of confusion that is bringing forward a lot of emotional distress to a lot of you that may be listening to this broadcast. What we say to you is, do not despair. You've got to connect in with the truth of who you are. And the way that you do this, and we've said this many times on these transmissions, is through the heart chakra. The mind is a transmitter and receiver of information. And so if you're focusing too much of your vibration on that, you will find that you'll be going through this level of confusion. Instead, focus on the feeling tone emitting from the heart chakra, as this will connect you with the truth of who you are. Most of you have been going through your life, and this is by no means a judgment, where you have fitted into society's belief systems and expectations of who you are as an individual and the role that you play within your society. Well, you've reached a point in your evolution where you've actually discovered that none of those things are actually true. You were living in somebody else's ideals of you, not necessarily the truth of who you are. For some, it will come quite a shock to you when you discover who you really are and what you're here to achieve in your incarnation. For others, it will be a knowing that you've known for many, many, many years and eons. You will simply flow with this level of truth. But for most, it will become a little bit of a shock, a little bit of confusion. And we say to you, again, to follow the vibration of the heart. It will take a great deal of patience with yourself. It will also take a great deal of you taking yourself away from the general narrative. And in many respects, you may feel quite alone in doing this. And this is, we're here to tell you that you will never, ever be alone. It may appear that way on the physical sense of things. Energetically, you are not. You are surrounded by a team, your team of beings of light, your spirit guides and helpers, your family, friends and loved ones in the world of spirit are always around you to offer their support, encouragement, and spur you on in that moment. But what we talk about, this level of tranquility and peace and spending time for reflection, will enable you to be comfortable in the present moment, where you do not hold anything in your mind. And what we're saying when we're reporting this information to you is just being comfortable, being at peace in the present moment. There will be many of you that will want to keep yourself busy and occupied so that you avoid spending this time in the peace and tranquility of the universe. And we say to you that is obviously your choice to do so, but you will always navigate back to this point where you will have to finally be comfortable about sitting in the peace and tranquility by oneself. When you get to this level, without any expectations, without any projections into your future or your past, then you have reached a level of mastery where you can be in alignment with your true path, your true self. And every moment within your life will then be governed by how you feel, How does that make you feel? Does that empower you? Does it take away your power? And you based a lot of your decisions around these feelings. If something excites you, something depletes you, makes you drained and tired, then that will obviously, that level of contrast will move you to the next level so that you can do something that feels right to you. And it's all connected with the feeling of the heart. So those of you that are very organized individuals and or like to plan ahead will find this process very intimidating, very frightening, and a little bit overwhelming. We say to you that you are safe, you won't be disappointed, and you're to trust being comfortable about being in the silence, being in the present, and not having any governing thoughts in your mind. And when you get to this level of being, it can be a very transformative and peaceful experience where you're just basking in that vibration of love and you're comfortable in that. That's the best way we can term it for you. But we certainly would encourage you that over the next up-and-coming months, you will experience, and we're in December now of 2023, you will experience a level of this peace and tranquility and an observation within you of accepting things as they are, as you are in that moment, more so than anything else. And then you'll reach this level of peace and tranquility. Anyway, we hope this information has given you something to consider when you're going through times of evolution mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. We want to assure you that you are all safe. You are all being guided. And this doesn't matter what your perceptions are. All we ask of you is to step out of the way and be comfortable about being present in the silence of your mind. So I'm now going to pass you on to another communicator that wishes to bring forward some additional wisdom for you. One only knows that when one comes through with such beauty, such tranquility, and with ease and grace. My purpose for attending this conversation today is to let you know about the sacred and divine feminine. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, you will all experience this level of sensitivity. For those of you, whether you're male or female, you may be fighting against it because there is a general consensus that this is a very weak position to be in. And what we mean by that is considered that this sensitive side of yourself being exposed to one and all is giving your game away, or you're letting people know that internal version of you. And we say to you, there's nothing wrong in doing that. For how can the earth evolve? How can the energies or frequencies evolve if people are staying guarded and protected in the vibration of fear of other people judging them, fear of the not knowingness? How can you reach a level of evolution if you're not prepared to open up and expose the truth of who you are from your heart chakra? It is very relevant to what the previous communicator has been alluding to, the fact that once you be comfortable in this sense of peace of self, of who you are, the next level of that evolution is not being afraid to let others be aware of the new vibration that you're emitting, your new belief systems, your new vibration emotionally, the way that you open up and share how you feel with others. As there has been a lack of empathy in recent times, where exposing your feelings and emotions has been perceived as a general weakness, because people and energies have manipulated those that are expressing themselves in this manner. And we say to you, the tables are turning to a point where those of you that do not express your truth and your emotions will find it increasingly difficult in order to exist in these new frequencies that we're all moving into. Because you will all be picking up on inauthenticity. So in other words, people that aren't genuine, you will all pick up on their vibration. And when somebody isn't genuine, or you're feeling they're not expressing themselves in a true manner, you will pick up on it. And you'll be less inclined to have interactions with them, whether this is socially, romantically, or even in a business setting. You will want that clear transparency with all of your communications. After all, it's all based upon love and trust. So it is a strength rather than a perceived weakness. In fact, a lot of what you've been taught over your years on here has been an inversion of the truth. It's only now that these truths are coming forward in such a manner, at such a rate, that everybody is feeling the discord and the change in frequencies. So look out for you having in-depth conversations with strangers, with friends, with families, to such a level that you've never spoken of before. They will have a deeper understanding and respect of who you are as an individual, and in fact you will be allowing them in to knowing the true essence of yourself, rather than a version of you that you're permitting them to see. You'll see everybody will benefit by you opening up, taking this leap of faith, and allowing all of this beauty to emanate from you. So that's what I have come forward to share with you today. I hope it's given you something to consider in your moments. I'm now going to pass you on to one more communicator that is wishing to say a few words to you.
Hello. Do you mind if I come through? It's been a while, hasn't it? It's me, little Tom. I'm always around listening. In fact, my job is to bring people through so they find it a lot easier. But my message is to you all is to tell you not to worry. You're all safe, you're all well. But it's a time where you'll be walking on that tightrope wire, so to speak, and you'll be putting your best foot forward. What we say to you, like a tightrope walker, don't look down, look forward, look straight ahead, and then you'll be balanced and you'll have that reassurance that you will get to the other side. If you look down, it will put you off balance and it will make you feel dizzy and unwell. So look forward, but look forward. We're getting muggled up, but we hope you understand this. They're telling me it's called an analogy. We hope you understand it. So look forward and move forward and be brave. Also, like a tightrope walker, they have to be balanced, don't they, so they can walk their pathway forward. Well, this is what you've got to do in many respects. You've got to watch the foods that you're eating. You've also got to be aware of your, I think you would call it working life and family life and social life balance. Because if it's heavy in one favour, then you won't be able to move forward smoothly on your pathway. So it's up to you, and you can make choices. But actually, a lot of you that do a lot of light work and helping people out on their pathway, what you will find is some of the things that have been stopping you maybe progressing on your pathway have been removed. Removed by your higher self, your spirit guides, and also the soul contract that was signed by yourself and all the other parties involved. This is a collective understanding, So don't feel guilty that you're not seeing certain individuals, or you're maybe not communicating with individuals that you once did. It's simply an agreement that you've all had so that you could all move forward with ease and grace. And also notice that when everything comes in alignment, everyone's not falling out, everybody's friends. It's a beautiful thing if you saw what we see the other side, all these documents and energies and vibrations that you've all agreed to be a part of. It's something that I can't even put into words. It's beyond my level of comprehension. That's quite a big word for me, isn't it? But anyway, that's why I've come forward today. I will be coming forward again, and being told is to bring you lots of fun, happiness and joviality, as a lot of you are missing that part of your life and you're not allowing yourself to have fun like I do. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll be very happy to come back soon. Bye, love you, bye.
Wow, what a fantastic transmission there from the world of spirit. Very interesting to hear about all of these facts about time is an illusion, and everything is happening now. Also feeling the confusion as we realize that there. But connect through the heart chakra will gain us that stability that we're looking for to enable us to stay strong and to move forward and to move and understand our present moment consciousness, the choices that we have in that present moment consciousness as well. And it was interesting also with some of the other communicators that came through, encouraging us to allow our sensitive side to come forward, as this is going to be one of our superpowers that we've pushed aside and ignored for quite some time there. Very interesting to hear about us also allowing people to get to know us more by opening up, by sharing this side of us that we don't necessarily allow people to view there. That again would give us that strength and that power that we need. And interesting also to hear about being clear and transparent with our communications. So not holding any words back within that communications or emotions, and then everybody knows where they stand on that one. But keep moving forward and be balanced, and also watch the food and our lifestyle that we're currently living, as that will have an effect. Fantastic as ever. So we're going to move on to the next part of the show, which is this week's energy forecast reading. So this is for the Christmas week, the festive week. So hopefully this will help you navigate your way through the course of this week ahead. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, my name is Glenn Boddice and I'm a spiritual medium, and welcome to this week's energy forecast reading for the week commencing Monday, the 25th of December, 2023. Now, those of you that watched me work before will know that I connect with my spirit team and helpers, and also consult the wisdom of the angel tarot cards. So, as ever, what I'm about to do, shuffle the pack and allow a card to come out for this week's energy forecast reading. And this is your card. Okay, I'm now going to link in with the vibration of that. So first of all, this week, I feel as though obviously we're in the festive season. It's going to be a time of gratitude. It's going to be a time of togetherness. But I feel predominantly this week will also see you going through some substantial changes emotionally, mentally as well there, as you're going to be reluctantly pushing through the boundaries that you've created in front of yourself. In other words, I feel as though you'll be letting elements go of what isn't serving you anymore. Now, what I'm talking about here, as a year comes to the end, you're reviewing what you've achieved this year, and actually you'll notice that there's a reoccurring pattern that has emerged throughout the course of your year. This week will see you mulling that over in your mind and actually thinking ahead of next year unfolding, and realizing that you need to make some substantial changes in your life. Now, this will be quite uncomfortable for most of you, as you know that you've got to do it, yet the old version of yourself is wanting you to stay nice and comfortable and relaxed and safe in your present moment environment. However, you know that you've got to evolve. You know that you've got to change. So this week we'll see you trusting that wisdom of your heart and moving beyond these insecurities there as well. I do feel as though that this week will also offer time for reflection out in nature. So if you can combine both of these exercises together, it would benefit you greatly. You will notice that there will be a shift in your heart vibration as well. Now, when I say this, I feel as though you will literally feel a physical shift in your vibration, in your heart. You'll feel that heart skipping a beat. And after doing that, you'll feel differently emotionally there as well as you connect in with these new vibrations. You'll also spend time as well in almost like a daydream over the week. And I feel this is because it's preparing you ahead of next year. And new ideas, inspiration's going to come in. And in actual fact, this week will also see you opening up your heart chakra, allowing that love and that acceptance of the beauty of who you are. Now, you haven't been able to do it for quite some time. When people has given you those compliments in connection with who you are and the truth of who you are and what they appreciate about you, you've kind of shrugged your shoulders and you've said, okay, well, thank you. But I feel as though this week will actually see you acknowledging that and embracing that energy and allowing yourself to shine. So let's turn over the card and see what the card says for you. The top of the card, it says 7 of Gabriel. So I'd like you to research the angel number of number 7. Also, to me personally, the number 7 represents two things. One is that good luck and good fortunes coming your way. And I'm always reminded about the shape of the number 7. To me, it looks like a scythe or a sickle. And they would be used in farming to cut the cord, separate the wheat from the chaff. So I feel as though there's an element of, in order for you to shine, you need to let go of the old versions of yourself there. And also the people that are no longer aligning with you vibrationally, mentally, and emotionally this week. Now, Gabriel, for some reason, my guides are telling me that music and singing is going to play a very strong part of your week this week. It's going to help you heal. It's going to help you raise your consciousness and awareness. And you'll find yourself actually listening or being in the presence of a different form of music than what you usually listen to. And you're just going to be feeling that energy within those frequencies, within that music. And this is going to help you go through this transformational process this week there. So let's read the inscription at the bottom. At the bottom it reads, stand up for what you believe in. Have confidence. Claim your personal power. Now, what I feel this connects with is what my guides were saying about these changes that are coming in to your life this week, the start of them. And actually claiming that personal power is taking ownership of who you are. Like my guides were saying, you receive lots of compliments from people, but you don't fully accept them. People see who you are, but you're not fully acceptant of who you are. This week we'll see you taking back that energy and owning it and standing in your power there, as the card suggests. So let's take a look at the coloration around the edge of the card. To me, that looks like an orange, like a mustard orange color. So with that being said, I feel as though it's talking about recalibration. It's talking about using up your energy reserves this week in order to propel you forward. You will feel rather sluggish and unmotivated, yet this is done intentionally by the universe in order for you to take that time out to reflect, recalibrate, and understand who you are as an individual. Once you've done that, then you'll notice these energies kicking in, and you'll feel that inspiration to move ahead and start things. I'm being told, don't run before you can walk. Take one step at a time with these new changes that you're wanting to enforce into your day-to-day life. Let's take a look into the artwork. We've got a beautiful, is it called a Pegasus, like a flying horse? I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but we've got a beautiful white flying horse there. And there's also a lady that's riding on the back of that as well. So let's have a look at that. Basically, a horse represents freedom. And the fact that this is a white horse is talking about spirituality, your pure side of yourself, the true essence of who you are. is beckoning you to allow it to have freedom, in other words, to be expressed. The fact that this is in flight represents flying high, heightening of your vibrations, which will also give you that sense of freedom. And it's going to be more about, this up and coming year is going to be more about you embracing freedom and actually going with the flow more so than you've ever done before. You'll find yourself not needing to know the answers to the question. You'll find yourself not needing to know any details. You'll trust the process. Also, the feminine energy on there is talking about your sensitivity, and it's telling you to ride the waves. So to go with the flow and trust your sensitivity is going to guide you on this different pathway within your life there. As I say, you don't need to know the exact answers or the details coming up into the new year. It's all about trusting the vibrations and going with the flow. We have a beautiful setting there, a sun coming through in the background there, this beautiful light amidst all this darkness there. So this is telling you you're going to be guided towards positivity that's going to help you not only in your life, but also with you accepting this beautiful positivity, it's going to be transferred and projected in other people's lives close to you, whether this is family, friends, or even associates. And they will benefit from you doing this deep dive work that you're going to be doing over the festive season there as well. There's also a lot of love and laughter, lots of spirit around you this week as well. And there's also, I feel as though your heart, as we've mentioned earlier about your heart skipping a beat, quite literally, physically, and also connecting you to high vibrational frequencies. This also indicates there's butterfly wings on the horse here. That indicates transformation. And also with that being said, it's talking about your freedom is going to transform not only you, but those around you, as we've suggested there. So that's what I'm picking up for you for this week. Thank you for hearting, liking, commenting, and sharing. If you've enjoyed what you've seen on here and you would like to support the work I do, I have got a Buy Me a Coffee link, which is above or below this video. And basically, it's a virtual tip jar. So all of your generous donations will be gratefully received and used in accordance with the work that I do to help people spiritually grow and ascend on their pathway. If you'd like any of my spiritual services or products, head over to my website, which is www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can place a booking with me over my Facebook page, Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium on Facebook, if you're wanting a one-to-one private reading. Join me every Monday at 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time with my radio show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice, talking about all things spiritual, paranormal, and self-help. Have a fantastic Christmas, everybody. Sending all my festive love and blessings to you all. Bye for now.
Well, it sounds like we're in for a very interesting week this week. Lots of deep diving, and you wouldn't expect that necessarily over the festive season, would you? But obviously, the universe has bigger plans ahead of 2024 rolling out. So just be gentle with yourself, I would say, just to add to that information from Spirit. So once again, thank you for tuning in to this week's show. I do hope you've enjoyed the content and the information that has come forward from Spirit and from Kristina Bloom there with her infinite wisdom. As ever, it's a pleasure to bring all of this information and channelings through to you. This is a pleasure, as always, to bring forward this content. Can I invite you all, if you have any stories of a paranormal, self-help or spiritual nature, and you're happy for me to read them out on the show, it would be fascinating to hear from you. And you can contact me by going over to www.glenboddicespiritualmedium.com, or you can send me an email at glenboddice@live.co.uk. And again, it would be fascinating to hear your feedback about the show. Any suggestions would be greatly appreciated also there as well. Or even if you want to become a guest on the show, please do get in touch. Anyway, I'm going to wish you a very happy Christmas to you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful time with your family and you share many memories, love and laughter with one another. Join me again the same time, 4 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, pulsetalkradio.com, with this very show From Beyond with Glenn Boddice. Take care, everybody. Bye for now and God bless.
Thank you for listening to From Beyond
more information about what products and services Glenn provides, go to Glenn Boddice Spiritual Medium